she face up like white. She always bend over. Odyssey see this girl all the time, and she always bend over. Anytime Odyssey play in a party, she always bend over.
So DMG Designs, big up yourself. Hair, makeup, the whole shebang. Let me see if I can get our guest here. So usually I do my interviews on @PlanetSoca1, but today we're having a bit of issues. So I can't do it on there today. So I'm doing it on my own Instagram, but we're going to post up the video up there and then figure out what the ass is going on. So let me see if I can get our guests. We have big guests today, you know. Big guests today. What up, Rav? Big up yourself. Let me see if I can get my guest. Dun, 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 dun. There he is. Let's see. Go live. Him. I'm gonna send a request to our guests. Oh, what up? I'm so sorry. Can I just say that? I'm so sorry. Instagram don't like me today.
I thought it was me.
No, it's not. And I'm a tech head. I know my technology, but Instagram's just being damn rude.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's so weird. So I want to first up big up everybody that's coming to the live. Usually we do this interview on Planet Soca 1, but we're going to do it today on MC Nads. Got to big up our sponsors, of course. Mavert Customs. They do all your graphic design needs. So you got to hit them up on Instagram at mavert.customs. We also got to big up, of course, DJ Simply Smooth. Big up your damn self. You need any mixing, mastering, you need any DJ drops, radio things, imaging, the whole shebang. DJ Simply Smooth does that for everybody. So you can hit him up on Instagram at DJ_Simply Smooth. And then, of course, we got to big up RiddimStream, who is also somebody that works with this man very well. Look at the gear, see the merch. So big up RiddimStream, you know, anybody who needs marketing, distribution, artist management, anything like that, you got to hit up RiddimStream on Instagram at RiddimStream. But for everybody that is locked on, and hopefully, you know, people know to come to my Instagram and check you out, we got a big Musical Prodigy on our live today, straight from Belize. I got to big up the one and only, the one and only, the one and only DJ Odyssey. Big up yourself, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being patient on my crazy Instagram and craziness that's been going on today.
I know how it goes.
What time is it over there?
It's now 12:19 p.m.
Oh, wonderful. So we're only a 2-hour difference, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
And how's the weather treating you? I'm sure fabulous.
It's not too bad. It started off raining this morning, but it's okay.
Okay, good. Well, you are guest number 3 on the zone, so thank you so much for being one of our guests.
Yeah, no problem.
I was also scared that we wouldn't have good internet connection, but it looks like we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I'm hearing your voice clear, so I thought it would be the same for me on my end with you not hearing me, but it's good. I've never done a live before, mind you. Never, ever done a live.
First time?
First time doing a live.
I'm
that type of going live. I'm more like a story type person, so like it's not. I even know how the requesting would work. So, but you know, I've been in people's live, but I've never done a live like so on Instagram.
Hey, there's a first for everything. I'm glad I could break your live virginity.
Yeah. Well, now it's put it down.
They didn't warn you about me, did they?
Partially.
Well, you're gonna have a good interview. Thank you for joining me. We're gonna talk a little bit about who you are as a DJ, because I know lots of people know you, and then there's a handful of people who probably aren't aware of your skill set, what you do, who you work with. So, and especially for those of us that might be in Canada that might not be aware, because I'm sure your fan base is large all over the world, because, you know, I've been doing my research. So I do want to talk about your journey and, of course, something super cool that you do in your personal life, but we're going to get to that later on in the interview. So first I want to talk about, you know, you as a DJ Odyssey, Musical Prodigy. How did you get started with DJing, and at what age? What drew you into it?
Well, honestly, this started back somewhere around 6 years ago. And
oh, wow.
It really crept up on me because I I don't want to foreshadow a little bit about what we're gonna talk about, like
That's okay. You can.
life. But you know,
This is your interview. Do whatever you want.
all right, cool. So my main objective in life, and my main goal in life, was to be a pilot, and I just started hanging around a lot of guys that, you know, played music. Came to find out when I was already, and I have uncles that they actually build sound systems, but I wasn't around those times. You know, I was very little and probably running around in Pampers and stuff. So yeah, it crept up on me around 6 years ago. Like, I started to take interest in it. Like, I started to really love listening to other guys, whether it be outside of Belize or and here in Belize. Like, I just liked what music do for people, like on the dance floor. And being a DJ now, like, I could tell you, we have so much control on people's emotions when it comes to music. And I'm a little bit of an OCD type person, so like, I look at music very technical. Like, even the song, like the actual quality of the audio, it's not just playing music, and it's not just going up on a stage and just say, hey, I'm just gonna play for these people. Like, you really gotta know who you're playing for in a short space of time, and that's the hardest part, because you don't know who's out there, and you have to kind of really judge based on what you're seeing, what you're gonna play, you know. And honestly, that's really what got me started in it, and that's the bulk of why I love DJing. Not just playing music, but what it does for people. So yeah,
people don't realize, like, the mechanics behind, because you know, I MC too, right, in the industry over here in Toronto. And people don't realize the mechanics. It's not just you going up on this, you know, your S9, your Pioneer board, whatever you got, and just, you know, playing on 1-2 song. You gotta read your crowd. You've got to make sure your audio levels are good. Things aren't sounding distorted. Right. You got to make sure you buff up your MC a few times and make sure they don't mess up your your flow. Right? So, you know, and I get that, and it's that. And I've talked to other DJs in the industry too, and even as an MC, it's that thrill of watching people react to what you're playing and hearing them go through their motions, whether they're having a bad day and you start playing a big song, like anything that voice does, for example, is all about keeping you happy and like just jumpy. If you start playing some pasa music, people just want to while out, and it's just looking at their reaction is so amazing. Right. And being able as DJs for you guys to like command the crowd and get them to do what you want them to do, like go to the left, go to the right, drop your bombsy, pick up your bombsy, like it's a thing. People don't realize DJ is they say Instagram, social media is a marketing, but DJ in itself, being a DJ, being a disc jockey, it's a marketing, it's a paying attention, it's reading the crowd. And the fact that you've been doing it for 6 years and you're able to command the way you do, amazing. That means you really have an ear and a love for it, which is so dope. Right. So dope. And I know, like in Belize, I guess when you started in your early part of the career, you were also part of two sound crews. My God, I can't speak. Two sound crews in Belize. So one of them was called, I was doing my research, one of them was No Fear DJs, and the other one was Tag International. Tell me about your journey being in those crews, and then why you kind of like branched out and went on your own.
So I started off actually, No Fear DJs had like a bunch, like not a bunch, but like another song crew, like a sub song crew before No Fear DJs, which is actually how I got started. And that song crew was called Versatile Songs. So that's really the bulk of when my journey of being a DJ started. Like, I was so committed to DJing. Like, I used to big up my boy DJ Crispy. He's the one that really got me into taking it serious then, because I used to go to his house 8 o'clock in the morning. He's still sleeping, and I didn't have any equipment. I didn't even have a laptop. I just saw what he did, and then I was like, I took it so serious again with my OCD. Like, I had to perfect certain things. I would stand there for 6 hours and make a mix and not eat the entire day. And
oh wow.
Yeah, and that's how, if I would make a mistake to this day, all my mixes that I make, have at least 2 to 3 takes before the final. Like if I make a mistake,
Really?
start over, yeah, because it has to song the kind of way, and it has to all my scratches, all my blending, everything has to be like almost perfect, but not
Perfect.
right. So when I started with versatile songs, that's where that foundation started. Then later on, we transitioned into No Fear DJs, where the group got bigger, and
Right.
started to do something where we decided to bring a different party scheme to Belize, where we involve paint, powder, all that, that mass craziness. So
Yeah.
that started. And then, you know, again, I decided that I wanted to maybe venture off and see what it was like joining another song crew, because I had certain things that I wanted to accomplish, and then I thought that maybe I need to brand. This was just merely 2 years into my DJ career, and so
Wow.
that's when I joined Tag International. Big up DJ Jago, DJ Special. Those two were the ones that really got me into the song crew, and we did our thing. We held certain events at certain venues here in Belize, and that was really where I started to. By 2014, early 2015, I started to realize where I said there were certain things I think I could accomplish as a DJ, as an individual DJ, and certain things took a different route, and I said, you know what, I'll just go on my own, and so far I've been doing fine.
Yeah, you've
Uh,
been doing great. You've
yeah,
been doing absolutely great. Like I've listened to some of your mixes and they're insane and we're going to get to that. You know what's cool about you is because you've done it in such a what I guess other DJs might say is a short period of time. I guess you have the ability to not I guess, but you do have the ability to show other people that it doesn't matter how long your experience might be. If you have a love for music and a
right,
passion and the work ethic, which you clearly have, that
right,
you can do anything you put your mind to. So big respects to you for that,
yeah.
obviously. And in this time period, I read that you also got a residency at a local place down there in Belize. I think it's called Sit and Sip. How
Yeah,
did that even happen? Like, was that like while you were transitioning out of the groups, or what happened there?
really, honestly, no. That was the first time I actually became a house DJ for a club, and
Oh
really
wow.
started that started in the late 2015, early 2016. So, well, to currently, obviously because of the COVID-19 thing, everything had to be on pause and so on. But since then,
Right.
it started. It really started off as something small. The idea behind Sit and Sip was to cater to tourists that were around the area, because the location where we were they're highly trafficked by tourists. So
Right.
it really was like a happy hour spot. Like even for our locals that wanted to knock off some steam after work, you come in, get some drinks, maybe watch a live game, almost like a sports bar setting. And
Yeah.
I remembered one night, um, we had like a beer pong and like dollar wings and stuff like that, and the crowd came in like it was massive. It was something so different.
Hey, if you're selling wings for $1, if I could fly over there, I would be there too.
But yeah, such a vibe. Like it just created a different energy and a different party scheme for Belize, and it became a house party setting outside of your
Yeah.
house. So like
Yeah.
then the vision for a club started to come in, and then it grew bigger and bigger from there. And Sit and Sit became one of the biggest and best clubs in Belize. And we later on
Wow.
started off with just me, and then later on we had some group
Rotate.
boys from Evolution Songs. We had DJ Cass as well. I know we have 5 Star International, and all of us, and DJ Brown, all of us were are a part of the Sit and Sip team, and that really actually was a big part of, or is still a big part of me being a DJ, because it took me preparing to another level. Like my preparation went up like 100 times. Because like every week I had to DJ and not only there, but other places in Belize as well. So I had to
Right.
put my toes when it came to music, and when it
Yes.
came to understanding your crowd. So
Oh yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Do you guys have like besides the rotation of DJs, have you done live artists that have come in as well, or is that something y'all are working on like
actually,
for future?
yeah, we actually did feature a couple of our Belizean artists on certain times. We actually had an artist, his name is Big Bang. He's a hip hop artist here in Belize, and he's out there in California doing his thing now. But he used to host, we used to call it Big Bang Thursdays, and like a certain part of the night, he would come in and he has like a, oh, like he almost has like a Pop Smoke voice, but
Yeah, yeah, okay.
he's like a mixture between Pop Smoke and Rick Ross. Like that's the
Oh,
type
so he's got
of
that baritone, but that raspy kind of.
wicked voice. Like he's so we used to host him like every Thursday. I have to say big up my boy Zach. He's the owner of the place, and he's the one. And Zach and Maurice, they're the ones that got me into to sit. And Sit reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to do this, blah 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 blah." And so, you know, but yeah,
How nervous were you when you did the very first, like your first live when you were there? How nervous were you, or were
I
you not?
wasn't nervous. Like by the time 2 years passed in my DJ career, I was scared like in the first 2 years when I would go on a show. I remember the day that I actually flapped out an entire event, and
Right.
never forget that. You know, but after that, that nervousness and that feeling of being scared and so on, that I could go anywhere amongst anyone. Like I would know what to play, I would know what to do, and so I really wasn't scared. Honestly, I would stay there 5 hours to 6 hours straight DJ
Yeah.
people without repeating a song. Let me fix this
Right.
lighting. But yeah, it really wasn't something that I would get nervous about, and it just happened
That's
naturally.
good. That's how you know the DJing is an innate trait in you. You've just built that in order
Yeah,
to, do what you got to do, which is cool, especially again for somebody who's, just been doing it for a handful of years. I have like big respects for you on that. And I do want to touch on something you were talking about. Obviously, COVID-19, worldwide pandemic. Everybody I've interviewed so far, I've got to ask the question, especially now that you're the first DJ I've interviewed on this series. And I guess as a DJ, I want to know like how if it was, how crippling was COVID for you, and what did you do during the time to adapt?
right. So obviously, it's like I mentioned before, it really started off rough. It still is
Yes.
because now they're not looking at the entertainment scene here as something, what's the word they like to use, essential. So
Yeah, essential. Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
so we're really it really comes down to I it really comes down to us as DJs to really get up and do something with ourselves, but with a certain threshold, because it's not like we could go out and host an event, but everything is so virtual now, which is a
Yeah.
good thing that came out of the whole pandemic. But I feel it's still not where it is in Belize specifically. So that's
Mhm.
another struggle within itself. So for me
Right.
personally, like I took more I took my mixtapes and my mixes more serious, and I used the time to actually plan them out. And like all my mixes, like I always tell people, like all my mixes are already made. Like I just make a bulk of them, and then I just schedule them to post. So like I have time to really plan out things properly. And like I said, my OCD will not allow me to do things that are half-assed, basically.
Yeah.
So,
It's got to be good if you don't feel good about it. And I've heard a lot of artists say that too. If I don't feel comfortable with it, like everybody could like it, but I don't want you to like it. I want you to fall in love with it.
right. So that's me. Like I have thing has to sound good. Like, and so now with the pandemic, I've been also doing. I don't want to say like ghost mixing. It's not really ghost mixing, but I'm doing some exclusive mixtapes for people that request. And then
Yeah.
they
What
said
kind of people? Like just regular people? Or are you talking about like artists?
no, not artists, not artists. Just regular people that wants their personalized mix.
Yep.
and I just put it together for them and charge them a fee, and that's how know that.
Oh, so you're saying from somebody in Toronto who is an MC, I could get a little thing and, you know, pass through with some funds and say, yo, hook a sister up.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this is good.
So that's something I've been working on, and it's been going good so far. Aside from that, it's just really to try to continue marketing yourself, stay relevant in these times, because it's so easy to get stagnant and say, hey,
Yeah.
nothing's happening, and then I have to just say, well, I'll just wait until something falls in my lap, and that mentality really won't get you anywhere. So you just have
No,
to
of
make.
course not. Right, that makes sense. I gotta ask too, like, I guess during the lockdown and for people who, you know, I know I've never visited Belize before. What is one thing you really, besides the DJing, what's one thing you really enjoyed doing, or that's something you really enjoyed doing in your hometown?
Well, I love to travel. I love to spend time with my family, and like my family are my main friends. Like my sister, cousins, my brother-in-law, all of us we're close like that. So most of the time when I would be out doing something, they're like my entourage. Like even if I go to an event, they're there when they can, and you know they always give me that support. So other than that, I love flying. Like that's I'm act- I'm actually a pilot now, so that's what I also do when I can, especially now with the pandemic. I could only
Yeah,
do like recreational flying, so I do that when I can, and I just love the air. Like it's the view of the earth from the air is spectacular. It's so different from being down here. You get a
that I'm gonna ask you. Don't say no more yet, because I have questions about that before I get, because I've never met a DJ slash pilot, so I'm full of questions for you. Probably some stuff that's off the paper that I didn't really write down, but we're gonna get to that. Let me circle back on your DJ career for a minute. Where do you think, you know, you want to go with your career? Like we know where it's taken you thus far. Where do you see yourself going maybe in your next, somebody told me every, you know, few years, 5 years or something, it's like the next quarter of your career. You're already at 6 years, so maybe you're in quarter 2. Where do you see yourself going next with it?
Well, honestly, I always tell people in Belize, I think I know I've covered Belize from north to south, east to west. So my next thing would definitely be to go outside of Belize, and it's so it's kind of hard, not because it's not possible, but because of my dreams that I want, right? Because like I say, I'm very OCD. So when I put my time into something, I'm just gonna focus on that, get that out of the way, and then move
Yep.
on to something. I have multiple goals, but I don't
Yeah.
focus on the ones that come later. I just focus on the ones that come next. So that's really and truly like I envision myself as a DJ to do um, more outside tours, but that comes with some form of commitment. So
Yeah.
I would have to put my piloting on pause to kind of get there, and then
Yeah.
I'm 26 now, so I'm gonna be 27 December, and
Early birthday, happy early birthday. It comes soon, you know, time is ticking.
yeah, and it's New Year's Eve, so
Really? Like New Year's Eve is your birthday?
my dad,
Wait, that's supposed to be party day.
yeah, my dad and me have the same birthday,
Oh
so
wow. You said that again? Your dad too?
he's the same as me. I don't want to know the story behind it. I'm not gonna try and think what they did, how it happened.
Well, I don't want to know what they did. I think I know, but hey, sometimes you gotta celebrate.
Yeah, so that's the case with
That's a
me.
whole nother story.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. You know what? And you know, for somebody who's in an industry where we're trying to be creative and also with our full-time career, because I, like you, can relate. I mean, I don't fly, but I do have a full-time career, and balancing the two with what you love, like, because both of them I love to do. So I get it. And you're trying to figure out, okay, do I continue putting my energy to this career that I really always wanted? Or do I try this other thing and take a pause? It's hard. People don't
And
get it.
and the thing is with flying, it's not just like any other career. It's really, it takes a lot out of you mentally because you have to be focusing on so much things at one time. Not necessarily tangible stuff like the instruments, but the mental work that comes with it. You're dealing with yourself, and then if you have passengers, you have to worry about them too, their safety, all of that. So it's really, and then the time with your age and how long you get to fly and so on, all of that I have to factor in. So if I really want to be a full-time tour DJ, I'm looking at maybe dedicating another 5 or 8 years out of my life into that to really get known and where I want to be. And then by the time I'm 40 or 45, then I will try to put in maybe being a pilot and so on. Maybe that dream changes then. I hope not. But
I hope not too, because I think that would be so dope. Can you imagine? You get your own plane, you don't need nobody to fly you anywhere. You go fly off yourself where you need to go, drop off some people, go do a DJ tour, come back home, fly again. I love it. I have visuals for you.
I've actually done that before here in Belize. Like I fly to my events. I park the plane at the airport, jump out, sleep at a hotel, do the events, jump back in.
Look,
I took my dad on we had lunch. I took him. We flew to a little island here called San Pedro, and we just ate for lunch at one of the restaurants, and we flew back.
I am so jealous right now. I'm coming to Belize to visit after this pandemic, and I would like to go like flying with you. I think that would be super cool. That is so dope.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions on that, but wait, I have more stuff on your DJ life first before we get to that. Let's talk about your mixes. Let's talk about what you've been working on, and of course your collaboration with RiddimStream. I know you've been working on a series, we had talked about it, called The Shell Down, which is sponsored by RiddimStream, so big up our sponsors for that, and this show as well. Tell a little bit to the people who don't know you about the series that you've been putting together.
So, again, the pandemic kind of steered me towards doing something more consistent, and that's when I came up. I wanted to do something like that people could listen to and relate to, and because everyone is home, I wanted to give them a vibe like they're in the club, but they're not there physically, so they're having a time at home, and it's basically I feed off of my energy, but in respect to what I know people would know. So I would sit down and prepare myself and really think like, okay, well, this one would go good with that one, and like I said again, OCD. Everything is like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I can't do A, B, D, E, F, X, Y. I can't do that. So everything is planned, everything is prepared, and everything I take countless hours in preparing. Like people would not understand. I have to go to chiropractors to do my bop because I'm sitting.
Because you're just sitting there all day.
And that's just making the mix.
That's not even actually doing it yet.
When that's just making the mix. No, sorry, that's just making the playlist. Then it comes, it's in stages. You make the playlist, you do the mix, and then it needs to be mastered. And that's something I actually took on. Again, like I told you, the quality has to be there. Like, so that's something I took on in the pandemic too. I actually taught myself like the basics of mastering and leveling and stuff like that. So that again takes some time because I have to listen to the entire mix for the high parts and the low parts and work, so it's.
And I think, it's good that you're saying this out loud so people can hear, because I think people forget, like people who are fans of any DJ, they forget it's not easy to do this. It's a science. You have to take the time. It's not like you just get behind your mixer and say, okay, I'm gonna slap 20 songs together and I'm just gonna throw out this mix. Because if people did that, we get sloppy shit, period. Right? So the quality and your OCD that you call it, and I wouldn't even put yourself down. Don't call it OCD. It's called being meticulous, man. You're being meticulous because if you're not, then the quality of your mix wouldn't show your skill set and the time you take to make sure somebody like me who's a listener can really enjoy it and feel the vibes. Like your transitions are smooth. I've listened to you. Your transitions are smooth. It's just so clean. And the fact that you can say that you've done so much work to put into it, I hear it. As a listener, I hear it. Maybe I'm biased because, I'm in the industry and I got a keen ear for it, but your mixes are good.
because when a lot of people don't know, and when certain DJs, I'm not putting down any DJs, but like when people get it's when people get comfortable with certain stuff, it's hard for them to understand the quality stuff. Like if they get introduced to crappy stuff first for a long period of time, then it wouldn't really make sense to them when the actual song, like the actual quality comes in, you know. So that's
true.
also working on, but I'm sticking to what I know and what I know to do best. So I just
Hey, it's working for you, so keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. And let's talk about your relationship with, of course, RiddimStream. How did that collaboration or sponsorship or relationship? Talk to us about how that relationship started.
All right, cool. So again, when my DJ career started in 2012, around 2013, I actually started a series called Music is Life. That's what it was originally called, because then I had that vision that I wanted to share things with people that they could relate to and
Right.
understand, and also enjoy. So that's when I said I needed a push. I needed something that would get me known, not like skyrocket known, but at least give me a boost. And then that's when I reached out to RiddimStream. At the time, I didn't know who I was talking to. WhatsApp wasn't a thing like that now. So I had to email them and get an idea what it was like and what's the cost and so on and so forth. And then honestly, I kept on using them and supporting their marketing scheme. And you know, then Sham, who's the owner, the brains behind the whole thing. Big up yourself, Sham.
Yeah, big up, big up, big up.
He is such a weird guy but a smart guy. Like that dude, he has a pilot in a cockpit, but that's another story. Anyway, he's the one I would talk to in the emails and so on and so forth. And then he really stepped out and said, hey, well, the mixes are good and, you know, keep it up and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We're gonna do this for you. And that's where that link started. And honestly, we've been solid since 2014. Like, honestly, 2014 to now. I'm so grateful for RiddimStream. I'm grateful for Sham.
Yeah.
So
Telling you, RiddimStream's doing good things. Like even before I connected with Planet Soca and RiddimStream on this series, like I've always been on like their mailing list, and I see, you know, even local Toronto DJs, I've seen a couple people that, you know, understand the marketing behind this business, that this, you know, RiddimStream is the company to be with because they know exactly what they're doing. So anybody who, you know, that's why I always, you know, as our sponsors, they know their shit. They know their shit. They know what they're doing. So big up Shams, of course, big up himself. So talk to us about your mixes. For people who don't know you, do you specialize in something, or do people think you specialize in something, but you just like, you're kind of into everything in terms of music?
That's a no-brainer. Like I'm into everything. Like I actually go for things that are different. Like the minute I hear something that's too consistent, it gets boring for me. Like I want to do something else. And that's the energy that I bring to Sheldon. Like today you might listen to Sheldon, for instance, you might listen to Sheldon Volume 12. That's basically an like a retro vibes type of thing. That I have some indie alternatives, some soft rock, then I got some old school R&B with 2000s and so on. So like then you listen to 11 and then you had like all these gunman tunes and things. So yeah, so it's really to create like a platform for myself to say, hey, this is who I am, and
I'm diverse.
You never know what to expect from me as a DJ, you know?
Right. And that's what you want to keep. You want to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, and also the only thing like I did, Sham turned me over to Mooney. Mooney, big up herself from Planet Soca. And he started the Soca Matters mixtape. I've never been one to do like a one genre mix. Like I don't like it. As a personal preference, I don't like it. I can do it and I'm good at it. But so when it came to me with that idea, I was like, everyone is doing a soca mix, everyone's doing a dancehall mix, everyone's doing a hip hop mix. But then I understood the vision behind the mix and the brand, and that's how I came to also do the Soca Matters mixtape that we're releasing. We're trying to release every bi-monthly. So
Yeah, by month I saw it. I think I've done a drop or a test drop or something for one of them. So yeah, the Soca Matters mixtapes are good. So it's nice to see you on that too.
yeah.
In terms of your DJ career, where do you want to go next? Like, is there any place you want to travel next to with your DJ career? Or is there some big artist you're looking at working with or producing with? Like, have you thought about where you want to go next with your next chapter?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, I've been going to the Miami carnivals a lot in the past, and
Yeah.
being on, I would say, one of the bigger events like Soca Brainwash or
Yep.
maybe the Uber Soca Cruise. Honestly, that's the level like I would want to reach. And again, I know that comes with a lot more marketing and a lot more work that I need to do as an individual DJ. So it's really me holding myself back from that opportunity, because like I have the team and I have the brains. I know what I need to do, but it's just me fitting in where my piloting and you know that and DJing comes along. So but
Right.
that's those events. Eventually, if I could go somewhere bigger, like a David Guetta concert or something like
Oh yeah, that would be dope.
you know,
I could see you there. I think even just as a fan of your music and your mixes, and now as an interviewer, I know you can definitely get there. 100% you can. And you're right. It's just a matter of both of your loves and trying to balance it. Like every step you take is going to be awesome, but I think it's just a balance. And you know, and it can be balanced. It's just going to take a lot of work, and those who are around you, like, you know, your fan base, your family and people who support you, they'll have your back regardless what you do, because it's going to be amazing. I know this. Then let's talk about you being a licensed pilot, shall we? From DJing to flying. How, like, when did this passion for flying start? Did you always had this?
I've had this passion for flying since age 7, and my mom, she works in the airline industry. At the time, my cousin, he also worked in the airline industry, and he's the one that really got me into flying. Like, I would go to his house at the time, and he had the exact, well, not the exact, but you can't see it, but I have like an entire flight simulator set up in front of me with the actual controls and stuff.
Wow.
And that's what I use now more than ever since the pandemic, that I can't fly as often, to stay mentally current, because it's easy to forget certain things. So,
Yeah.
you know, you always got to work at your craft. So aside
Yes.
from DJing, that's also something I work on. Like I actually did a flight this morning before the interview, like to just make sure that I remember stuff. And
That's cool.
I landed safely, and you know, so everything.
I was gonna say, you did your point checks, you landed safely, everything was cool.
Yeah. So
All right, good,
that's
because
good.
I see you. I like that. Okay, so how long have you had your license, like for piloting? When did you first get it? Is there like stages to this? Like, explain this to me.
There are stages. There's the private pilot. There's the instrument rating, and then there's commercial pilot. Those are the 3 license you need to be a commercial pilot to work for hire. So right now, I just got my private pilot license, which enables me. I have a license for Belize and I have a license for the US. So I could.
Woo, you need one for Canada too?
They do have no, US and Canada is to be the same. If I want to go like to Europe, they have a different license. I would need to get their.
So you could fly here to Toronto though.
Yes, I could fly there tomorrow. I could fly there now.
That's wicked.
I don't have the plane that would get me there efficiently, but I could.
We'll work on that. Steps. Everything is levels. We'll get steps. First we got your license, then we got to work on the plane.
Right. So I have my private pilot's license, and I was working on my instruments this year. I went to Charleston to do it. I did my exam. I passed it. And then,
Yeah, congrats.
thanks. 2 weeks after that, the pandemic struck Belize, so I had to come home, and then I'm here now.
Yeah, so now you're just chilling and waiting. So I guess the next step for you in the evolution of your pilot license is to go commercial, right?
Yes, yes.
And then when you go commercial, that means you can get hired by any airline
Yes.
in the world?
Given that I have the qualifications that they ask for, because you have to have a certain amount of hours, some of them require certain level of degree. It depends. But with aviation, there's so many things. There's so many parts you could go. You could be a cargo pilot. You could be a banner pilot that flies with the
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, an ag pilot, and that's something I was thinking about doing too, because Belize has a lot of crops and a lot of farms and stuff. So that's but it's very saturated right now. They have like a pilot. They have, each farmer has their own pilots and stuff. No, so
Ah,
that,
okay.
you know, but yeah,
Something to work towards.
yeah.
So then what's your I guess what's your end goal with your piloting? Like where do you see yourself, like put aside the DJ career, where do you see yourself getting to with that?
Honestly, actually I'm starting that from now, and I'm gonna foreshadow on it a bit. But my instructor and I were working on putting a proposal to start a flight school in Belize. That's one of my ultimate goals, because we don't have a flight school in Belize. We have an instructor here, and he's the one that taught me. And then
But then you have to go outside of Belize to get taught and get the schooling and all that.
He did all the teaching. He's certified by the US to do all my training.
Mm-hmm.
However, he can't do the other two that I need. So I still have to go out of the country to do that. So we're trying to figure out, and I've already done the proposal. I've already turned it in, but this pandemic has everyone on edge with everything, and a lot of things put on pause. So that proposal is already handed in on how we're gonna do the school and what we need and what we're gonna do and stuff like that. So I
am so fascinated by this. I've never met a pilot before, so this is pretty cool. And you love DJing, which is like, hi, how are you? That is so cool. So I guess like because you're new with your license and working through things, you want to teach. Is there anywhere that you either have flown or you would like to fly? Is there anywhere you'd like to go?
I would definitely like to do. I would want to go to Dubai. Actually, before starting a flight school, my ultimate, if I'm to work with a airline, it would be Qatar or maybe Emirates. Like
Emirates, Emirates there.
Those airlines are where the money is. Like they're the ones that I would ultimately want to fly with. But to get with them is a lot of requirements. So I'm trying not to get ahead of myself with my plans. But yeah, honestly, as long as I'm flying and making good money and comfortable, I'm good.
For sure.
So,
but you can also make a vision board. You ever like thought about making a vision board for yourself for the stuff you want for the piloting?
That vision board is in my head. Like it's not written down, but I know exactly where and that's the reason why I'm saying to you that I've not taken the step to go outside of Belize really to DJ like that, because it will take a level of commitment that I would have to put certain things on pause that I'm not sure I want to do yet. But
understandably, yeah.
I'm just trying to take it one step at a time and see how it goes. So.
See how it goes. I mean, you have two great careers that could take you absolutely anywhere. So it's going to be cool to continue watching the evolution of you as the pilot and as the DJ, because either way you win.
Yeah.
This is a win-win situation. You know that, right?
Right. So aside from that, I've been thinking of ways how I could start different businesses and create jobs for Belizeans as well, using aviation, because like I always tell people, I hate reading. I don't like reading at all. But no, I don't like reading. That's not my thing. Well, I hate it. But
I won't show you my bookcase then, because I'm a bookworm.
I'm good.
Sorry.
But you give me anything with aircrafts, aviation, or DJ, I would sit the hell out of it and read all day, all night. That's where my. But I'm not like that avid reader where I could sit all day and read a book on life or emotions. And the weird thing is
some fake fiction story. That's not your thing.
Yeah, I actually studied psychology and sociology, and I loved it. But that's another story. We'll be here all night. I'll be.
That's cool. I didn't even know you studied that. You did that in like university?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Look, for you to be a pilot, I know you was a smart one. I don't doubt it. So let me talk about your mixes for a minute. So with Shell Down, so like, when's the next mix coming out? Did you already put one out? Because I saw your SoundCloud. I see what's happening. But when can people expect another mix from you?
Actually, Monday. All my stuff are scheduled to release every two. No, every 2 Mondays. It used to be every 2 Fridays, but because I recently started again with my boys here, Evolution Songs, they started they asked me to join them on their radio show that they do every Thursdays, and
Nice.
I literally released we're trying to release the recording from the radio shows for people that couldn't tune into the live on my SoundCloud.
Right.
So I now released one yesterday, which if I didn't have that to do, the Sheldon that would be released on Monday would have been released yesterday. So, but yes, to answer the question, next Sheldon would be next Monday, and then I have a next radio show live to release next week Friday. So
Oh, that's dope.
I have stuff to do all the way, like every week.
You busy, buddy. You proper busy.
And I also wanted to mention too, like if I really want to stop DJing, like it got me where I wanted to be so far, and I know it could take me further places, but
Do you think you might put it on hold and just kind of do the other things that you want to do and then maybe come back to it?
If all the money would drop in my lap today to finish flight school, I would honestly put DJing aside, because flying is where my heart is. I would always and forever love music, and I would always and forever enjoy watching a good DJ perform, going to concerts, listening to the nice song system. Like, that part of me would never go away.
Yeah.
But staying up late, it also caused like a severe toll on my body, like staying up late and working the clubs.
People don't understand the industry is not easy. Them late nights, you know, dehydration, not eating, like it takes a toll. I do that over here when I MC events and weddings, and you get so caught up in being busy and delivering, you forget about your body. And this shit, you only get one, and it hurts the next day. I feel all. Yeah.
1 minute you could bend down and pick up something. The other minute you have to use your foot to kind of try and maneuver away and get it on. No, so
it's so true. People don't understand. DJing is so bad because, you know, like, you're standing there on a flat surface. I have a friend and I keep yelling at him saying, yo, get a mat. Because your knees are his knees hurt, your back hurt, your neck hurt. No wonder you gotta go chiropractor every week.
There was literally a night where I took off my boots and I DJ'd in my socks. Like, I was so overstanding for so long. There are nights like that, and I don't drink at all. Like, I mean, I don't drink alcohol at all. So my nights would be surrounded by drinking like 5 bottles of water while you know, and it's just a bittersweet environment.
Yeah, it really is. I'm like you. I'm not big on the drinking, especially when I'm working. You know, I like to, because you never know what's your next client, who's watching you. And so, you know, you're looking at that environment and I'm just like, oh, just not my scene, but it's my scene. So I get that. I can totally relate to that. People don't understand that. Like, because, you know, the stigma is that you're a DJ, you must have gal, you must suck crumb, you must, you know, go after hours because that's all you guys do, right?
And that stereotype is another story by itself. Like, all DJ is bad, all DJ is this, and some of them like don't even know half the stories. Like, I could only speak for myself. If other DJs are doing it, then kudos to them. But I can't speak on their behalf. But I can say, me, I look at things very differently. And the minute, like I say, the minute I see someone doing something, I don't like, I steer away from that. You know, like I'm not perfect, I'm human, but at the same time too, I find that people put themselves in certain positions that they didn't need to be in, and I just try to think about my moves very carefully, especially as a DJ and somewhat of a public figure, because things could happen. People are just waiting for stuff to happen, and you know,
people always love the drama, right? The drama sells, and people forget that, like, Once you become a DJ, you start connect with RiddimStream. Same as me. Connected with RiddimStream, connected with The Zone. I have a radio show here in Toronto. At that point, you're a brand. So you don't just represent your own, you represent other people. The minute you bring shame to that, the shame follows everybody else, and that's it. Relationships are done.
Exactly.
And people don't understand that. Like, and I get it. You're right.
So people would see you go on the stage and like, look at this one and blah, 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 blah. They don't know. Like before every event, I prepare my sets. Like people think it's just going up there and entertain, but you still have to have some type of brain for it, because I could prepare a reggae set and I get there and there's a 90s dancehall type of vibe there. I have to switch accordingly. Like I myself as a chameleon, like I have to adapt to the environment every time as a DJ.
And I think that's where piloting for you helps you as a DJ, because you have to have this keen sense of awareness. With piloting, your senses, everything's got to be, because I know, like you said, it's not just your simulator, it's not just the control panel, it's your passengers. What's the plane? What's the mechanics going on? You know, is everything working? I got switches where it needs to be. And DJs, I think those basic senses are the same thing. You have to be what's going on with the crowd, mixers working, sound is good, you know, what's the MC doing, what's the vibe. So it's kind of cool that you've been able to marry those two skills, even though, you know, you might take a break from one, but it's cool because I don't think some people realize you can marry those skills together like that. So that's pretty dope, man. I like, see, and let me let the ladies know, in case you're single, he's a very good man. See, let the ladies know. He's not one of those, you know, as my mom would say, there's a Guyanese word called lagu bagu, means like, you know, weirdo. You're not some lagu bagu DJ. You're a good one. So high five to you.
Well, thanks for the little promotion.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So, I mean, I wanted to ask, somebody asked in the chat here, they're like, is there a part 2 to DJ Odyssey? I didn't know what they meant, but maybe it's just to say, I mean, what's next for you as a DJ? What do you want to do, like, in the next?
Well, like, you know what I want to do is honestly to be a pilot. Like that's my main goal. I don't think there could ever be a part 2 of me. Like, like you mentioned, we only have one body. Like, there's literally only one DJ Odyssey, and that's what I try to create whenever I go to any party or when I do any. Like the minute you hear an effect, the minute you hear a certain vibe, you know automatically it's me playing. You know?
It's the Musical Prodigy on the ones and twos.
Yeah. Oh, she says I think she's asking the interview, another interview.
Oh, another interview. Yeah, we'll have to do. I've said this to everybody, and for you especially, I would want another interview to follow you, to see what where your piloting took you and how far you've reached. But I think that's a few months down the road. I would definitely want to do a follow-up interview.
Get back normal with this whole COVID-19 crap that's been...
You know what? And I had a conversation with somebody the other day about this. I don't know if it's normalcy anymore. It's a new normal.
Yeah.
I think it's a new normal, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a new normal. Let people know. Actually, you know what? Before I let you go, I have one question. For those of us that are not familiar with Belize, if I were to come and visit your beautiful, beautiful country, what's one thing you would tell me to eat and one place you would tell me to visit?
Cool. That's a no-brainer, but it has so many options, but it's a no-brainer. So the first thing you would have to try when you come here is our rice and beans with fried fish, plantain. Right?
Speak to me. Speak to my tummy.
And it has. I'm like a gravy person. I can't eat dry food. So
yeah, I can't either. I need the gravy.
When you're going, I will talk to you in a Creole. When you're going here, you have to make them put gravy on your food. Make sure you got your salad. Make sure you got your chicken. Whatever you want, whatever kind of meat you want, just make sure they put it up. Eat a thing. When you come, I personally make my mom make it for you first, and then you could venture out. And then
thanks, Mama Odyssey. Yes, I will. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Do rice and beans, and then after do rice and beans first. Like they have a lot of options.
Right.
But do your rice and beans first, and then you could explore and then do other stuff. Belize
God, you're making me hungry.
No, Belize is in Central America, so you have to understand we have a little bit of everything. We have Spanish food here. We also have like our culture starts mainly with Garifuna people. Like they are mixed with like the African tribe drums type of band, and they have their dish called hodut.
What's it called? Kodut?
Hodut.
Oh, what is that?
So it's like a broth. And it has in same plantains, but it's mashed up, and then you get like a slice of fish in there, and then you could put like your peppers in there. It's like a nice broth that you could eat, and it's amazing. You could eat it with white rice as well and stuff like that. So
man, I'm so hungry. I gotta go lash food when I'm done here. My parents are from Guyana, so technically we're not Caribbean, we're South American. So that diverse mix, because obviously Venezuela is next door. I got family, like my great ancestors are from Venezuela. So that mix of food, damn, you're making me hungry, man.
And also the place I would say you could visit, we have a lot of islands here, like a lot of keys and where you could relax and chill. And also they are the ones that you could enhance your taste buds. You could try so many other foods while you're there. And I would definitely say you could check out maybe Keycaulker. That's the island. Sham knows all about Keycaulker. Sham knows, he's been here. He went to these places. So you could check out the islands in Keycaulker or maybe San Pedro. And you could swim in the nice Caribbean Sea, salt water and all of that. You could go fishing,
because your Caribbean Sea is like your shoreline over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boss,
I need to come.
Boss man, in the chat, the man say you have to come and sit and sip. So, of course, when you come to Belize, we assure you that. And then I see my boy DJ Jonah he's from Toronto, so I know him.
Yes.
A lot. So I'll have to get some Guyanese songs for him, and then I'll play for you, and that's easy.
Big up DJ Jono, such a good kid. I've done some drops for him as well.
Yeah.
I love my Toronto Massive, but I also love my international Massive.
He's the reason for some of my effects, and that really brings out my mix. So yeah, big up yourself.
He's also got a good teacher in his father too, which is pretty dope. Have you
cool.
ever been to Toronto?
No. I had never been.
What, boy? What you mean you never been? I Sham don't know if I bring you. Yo, RiddimStream, fix up. RiddimStream, fix up. You get the boy, you don't even bring him to Toronto. What kind of shit is that?
Listen, we had plans, okay, but things happen, and I had to.
All right, pandemic mash up the whole world. It's okay. When you come to Toronto, I have to make sure I meet you in person. That is a have to happen. And then you gotta get the Toronto tour. And we'll drive you next to Drake's house because everybody wants to see that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Tell the people where they can reach you on social media, how they can listen to your SoundCloud. Like, give the people the 411.
Yeah, so hit me up, DJ Odyssey, Instagram, DJ ODYSSEY on Instagram. I'm DJ Odyssey, the Musical Prodigy on Facebook. And SoundCloud, DJ Odyssey. Can't miss it.
Thank you so much. Straight from Belize. You're the first person I've ever interviewed from Belize. So thank you so much for being here. Episode 3 of The Zone. I really, really appreciate it. I am very honored and so happy to have met you. You're staying connected on my WhatsApp. So it's not like you're going to get rid of me now. That's it. It's done. He's like, oh, God, help me.
Yeah,
I guess we're ending this in time because I'm getting a countdown from Instagram. We got 20 seconds.
Yeah, so thanks for
Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate the interview and looking forward to working with you in the future.
For sure. Don't forget to hit him up at DJ Odyssey. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Episode 3 of The Zone. Next week we'll be back on Planet Soca 1's Instagram, but we're going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to repost everything. Yo, Odyssey, big up yourself.
Odyssey don't know what she face up like. Why? She always been over. Odyssey see this girl all the time, and she always been over. Anytime Odyssey play in a party, she always been over. Odyssey identify she by she box. She always been over. This girl love bend. She might always bend. Odyssey jamming it like.